Hello, guys. Sorry for not uploading in a long time. You know, it is what it is. I've been busy, school, that kind of thing. But maybe by the time I upload this, I'll have uploaded more. So this is all like moot. Anyways, in this video, I'm showcasing this. I got this big box. So this is a new kit that I just got. The Enerjet by Aerotech Minotaur. Boom, Minotaur. Now this is a mid-power kit. This like box, it's like the cool Aerotech like box that like opens up like that. Really nice. This has been like kind of sitting in the local hobby store. I got a Hanger 18 for a while. It's like the only Estes non-Estes kit that they were selling, and it just kind of caught my eye every time, and I decided I'd find the cave and get it this time. So this was $60. This is a mid-power kit. Aerotech, Enerjet, they make like the Aerotech motors, obviously, and as well as like the mid-power motors of their Enerjet. There's also like Quest, which is like their low power little offshoot. I've built a kit by Aerotech before. It was this one right here, the Initiator, which is like a big mid-power kit. It's a really high quality kit. Came with like this like metal thing. I think it was a pretty expensive rocket though. Probably one of my most expensive ones. I will be repainting this. I don't like this color of nose cone. I don't know why I painted it black. It just doesn't match. It does not match at all. But I digress. Anyways, this kit, mid-power, you can see some of the details right here. Excuse the glare. Some of the recommended motors. It looks super interesting. I believe it's a pseudo like scale model. Like it looks vaguely like real rockets, but it's not really based on anything real. Let's cover up that glare. Not really based on anything real. It's kind of like the Estes Sasha, which I've reviewed on my channel. It just kind of looks like real rockets, but it's not really one. But that's kind of cool. So let's unbox it. So here it is now, but might take a while to unpack all these, sort all these. Maybe we need like a cool transition to have it like all on the table, right? Whoa, that was a crazy transition. Mind blown. This channel is awesome. Anyways, this is the first set of parts. This is the big body tube. It is it says a length, I believe. No, but the whole rock is 28 inches long. This is like almost like 2 feet probably. This is the nose cone as well. This is a kind of cool nose cone. It's kind of like straight out, and then it kind of tapers into an O-guide. That's how it looks right there. Pretty sick. This is like, you know, I bet like the mid-power standard in terms of like thickness. Like it's not like thin wall like a lot of the lighter Estes kits, but it's not like full thick wall like a heavy kit. So this is kind of like in between, which makes sense. Here's a nylon parachute by Aerotech, 16-inch diameter. Any nylon parachute's great, and I think this size is pretty good. 18 is always usually like overkill. I probably would have used 18 for this kit, like if I were like designing it myself, but 16 will definitely work if they're going to put it in the kit, and I mean, that is less likely to like get lost or blown away. So that's pretty cool. This is a 24 millimeter engine adapter. Just, you put that in if you want to launch 24 millimeter motors in that. This rocket gives more variety. It was a nice addition. Pretty cool that they included it. Here's the instruction manual. It's quite big, quite hefty. This sheet right here is just about launch procedure, so on. But yeah, this is like pretty in depth. They're really in depth. Look at these illustrations. Oops, video cut out. We just paused. Don't know why. Anyways, as I was saying, really detailed instruction assembly guide. A lot on actually like painting it and stuff. It's pretty cool. Here we have the decals. Ooh, a lot of decals, or 2 pages. These seem to be sticker. I think they're the same type of decal as what was included with the Initiator. They're like sticker decals, but they're kind of thick. And if I recall, I'll probably say it in here, you can use like dish soap and water, like mix that together, and that will make it a little looser, or like it won't reduce the stick in the end, but it will make it like immediately stick to the tube. Like you'll be able to move it around a little bit when you're applying it, which means that you won't get like air bubbles. You can get it right where you want. So that's cool. Only these are the fins. It's super simple. Just 3 like what kind of shape is this? What's this shape? Quadrilateral, we'll say. you know, 3 quadrilaterals, and that's it. And this balsa, I think this is like a thick, denser balsa. It's not basswood. But yeah, there you go. That's part one of the pieces, part one of the parts. Let's go on to part two. Dude, I cannot get over how crazy this editing magic is. I'm kidding. What's that? Anyways, this is a motor mount tube. It's 29 millimeters, which I think is what most of the rocket motors for this kit will fit on. Um, Pretty cool. Like the average mid-power size is about 29 millimeters. Um, but yeah, solid. Not much more to say. Here are the two. Okay, wait. This is like a stop tube, I think, for it. It's kind of interesting. I wonder if it's actually needed to be applied. Like if you think about it, because I don't know. I feel like you might have motors that end up being longer than this. Maybe not at like the mid-power level. So we'll have to see on that. But that's like the what's it called? Like block, um, engine block. Here are two launch lugs. These are like the paper straw type. I think this is not 1/4. This is like 3/8 inch, like the kind of it's like the Estes Maxi launch rod type size, which fits I think for this size of rocket. Ooh, don't lose that. Um, but yeah, simple. This is like what Estes includes. These are interesting. These are centering rings. But you'll notice that these aren't like cardboard. I'm not sure what material this is. I can maybe look at it on the instructions, but I think it might be nylon because I think that's what it said for the initiator, which I built, and it used the same material. Um, but yeah, that's kind of interesting. We'll see. I'll definitely mention it during the build time lapse. We have 6 more smaller ones, which will be used for these assemblies. So I'll just look at one. There's 6 of these mini body tubes that they kind of go around. They like replicate boosters for the rocket. They didn't actually put a motor in them. But they each come with a little balsa nose cone, which is the first time I've actually held a balsa nose cone. That's kind of cool. But there's 6 of these as well. And then these little plastic caps, I think, are supposed to like replicate like engines, you know, engine bells. And you take like this piece, you put that here, and that goes in, and boom, you know, you have like a model rocket scale model type thing. Pretty cool. Pretty cool design. Finally, we have 2 different shock cords. This is nylon, which is kind of flexible. This is Kevlar, which is not flexible at all. They're very sturdy. But probably overkill, honestly, for this rocket. But if they're going to include it, I'll gladly take it because these are good materials to use. So yeah, a lot of good parts, a lot of interesting parts, a lot of cool stuff. Can't wait to get to building it. This might take like a while, but we'll get through it. So thank you guys. Let's get on to the time lapse.
Okay, what's up, guys? We're going to start the build here. The first step is the motor adapter, the motor mount adapter. This allows you to put in 24 millimeter motors into the rocket. It has the rocket itself has a 29 millimeter motor mount tube, but this gives you a wider variety of options. This is super cool. Assembly's pretty standard, industry standard, you know, nothing too special. Now we're tying together these shock cords. There's like 3 different cords you have to tie together, which is really complex for my little pea brain. I'm not good at tying knots, but I figured it out kind of eventually. Here I am. What am I doing here? I think I was looking for a ruler. But anyways, we're putting on the centering rings of this motor mount. Then we're going to attach the Kevlar part of the shock cord to the motor mount and just kind of fit that in there with the other centering ring. And there you have the motor mount there. So we're going to put that, glue that into the body tube. Again, simple stuff, nothing too crazy. Get that done, all set up. We're going to cut out this part and mark off a bunch of lines on this rocket, but I don't really show you. We're going to get the fins all sanded up and ready. Mark down. Now this setup, you see what we're doing here is creating these like temporary, we're like, they call it double fillets. We kind of let the glue dry and then So you put the fin on with the glue, then you remove it quickly. You let it dry, you let it dry a little bit, and then you put the fin back on. Then I put on the launch lugs there. Anyways, that whole like fin thing, it kind of helped with, or it just helps with like stability. It makes a stronger joint, and it also just makes like the balancing and like the gluing process easier. Anyways, back onto this, we're putting on some sanding sealer onto each of these balsa wood fins. These end up going on the like little booster tubes, which you can see going on right here. Pretty simple. You also might have seen, or you're about to see me also create like the little, they're like just like engine assemblies. They're not like actual, they're all like purely decorative, but they're out of like plastic. I'm not really sure what the material for all the centering rings are in this kit, but Aerotech does use them in the, because I saw like it's like the same material in the Aerotech Initiator, but they attach to wood glue sometimes and to CA glue, so, and they're kind of durable. I'm not too sure what the material is though. Maybe nylon. Anyways, we're gonna spray paint those little engine thingy silver. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this masking tape and we're gonna make like 1/8 inch lines, or 1/8 inch by 6 inch little lines of tape, and putting these on. This is to cover up from where not let paint get on there, and that will be how we glue. We're gonna like take the paint off, and then the glue will attach easier for when we glue these back onto the main rocket. And we'll do the same for like the main body tube as well. But once we get all those on, we're gonna put on some sanding sealer onto the fins, which is a pretty simple process. Preps them up for painting, which we're gonna start to do. So first we're gonna give it a little coat of white. No, actually these are the booster tubes, which we're all painting white. And you'll see I get through a couple of them at once. I think I spent like a good amount of time on my day painting the other day when I was working on this. I use Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch satin white for these guys. That specific brand's worked pretty consistently well for me. Then we're going to give a same coat of white on the top end of the main rocket. Then the rest is going to be in like this teal enamel paint that I had lying around, but it works. It just works. Now we're going to be attaching the little engine booster cones to the end. You'll see I like end up kind of breaking one of them, so I have to like do like a little quick fix, but that was no problem. So yeah, we can watch that. And then we're about to move on to the detailing. We're going to be putting on little decals onto like the booster tubes. One tip I'll give, you'll see in a second. So this is getting some water and dish soap, which allows you to kind of move the decals around, because these are sticker decals. You don't need it for these type of decals. They're not water slide, but it does help because they dry with the same stickiness, but allows you to move them around so there's no air bubbles. But I didn't end up using it. It was kind of like overkill. Like I got all the decals on just fine, no problem. So it was fine. One tip you'll see, I'm like just marking off where like each of the stickers went. That just makes it more even going through. Then we're gonna put some decals onto the main body rocket, the rocket. I meant to paint the bottom of those fins white, but I forgot to. And then I kind of didn't want to go back and change it, which is fine. You'll see those are the white lines right there. That's where these boosters will go onto. Again, we're doing like the same little double joint method that I was talking about. You see, we just put that on, and then we take it off. There's still some glue there. It's going to dry just a little bit, and then we're going to put these boosters back on now that they're like partially dried. And they go on just way easier, way more solid. And then we're just going to put a couple more decals. We're going to attach the parachute and the recovery, then put a couple more decals all throughout. And that's really the entire build. It's pretty simple, but it was like also like cool. You know what I mean? It wasn't like too far from the normal, but it was also, it had like a bunch of unique elements. So it was a very fun build. The instructions are really thorough. That's like the biggest thing. Super thorough instructions. So it's a great time. Yeah. And now with the build completed,
I'm gonna just cut straight to it and say that this might be one of the coolest rockets I've built. And I think I said that for the last build video that I uploaded on this channel. Uh, but this one actually like really takes the cake. I mean, look at how cool the thing looks. You got like all these booster pods. It comes out. It's like super cool looking, dude. So I want to talk about the build real quick because I actually was very pleasantly surprised with the build. It's actually a lot simpler um, than like it kind of looks because it has like all these body tubes and stuff. But these actually come together really easy. There's a couple really interesting build techniques that it uses that I do like quite a bit. I'm gonna just quickly talk about my only two complaints, and they're very small little nitpicks. Now, the instructions in this kit that it comes with are super thorough. I think, right, like Estes, their instructions are like decent. Apogee has some really good instructions, but I think these quest instructions might be even more thorough. Like I think better overall. Like I mean, they're really in detail. There's the two things, right? So this rocket it comes with a motor adapter, but I think the instructions were written when it didn't come with the motor adapter. So the instructions it has kind of for like assembling the motor mount are a little bit off from like what you actually end up doing, just because it kind of I think it just wasn't written with the motor mount adapter in mind. But besides from that, that's like the other thing. The only other small thing, and it's actually kind of still like a benefit because most like kits the instructions won't even like this wouldn't even be a concern because this kit the build instructions also includes it's like really detailed finishing and like decorating instructions. Like most kits you'll get them, you'll have all the build and then there'll be like one page it's like, oh, this is inspiration for how you should paint the rocket, blah blah blah, and that's it. But this one kind of really walks you through it. Since like there's like a lot of these like small parts that kind of need to be painted separately, like it tells you when to do this, when to paint these, and it all works out pretty well. It's just the one thing is, and this is really kind of be chalked down to common sense, but it doesn't tell you to tape down the bottom part of the fins to paint them white. So that's why they're teal here because I'd already like finished this whole thing up. Then I realized, oh crap, I didn't get the bottom end here white. But it wasn't really worth it. It still looks good, so it's fine. So those are like my only two complaints, but I mean, those are two very small complaints in the sea of like praise. All the parts that come into it, that came to it, are very nice quality. I mean, it's a really nice body tube. Really great shock cord. Obviously, it comes with a motor mount adapter, so you can use like double the amount of engines in this rocket. The price range it was $60 when I got this. Also, it comes in a really nice box that like Aerotech and Quest motors come in. Quest rockets come in. But yeah, there's just like a lot I can really give praise to about the quality of the components. All like these details. These are nice decals. These are the sticker decals, and they're like the nice, pretty solid stickers. So they're pretty good. If you watch my video, you notice that I don't really use like the water bowl technique. And that's where like if you have like a decal like these sticker decals, you can like gently soak them in like like warm water that has just like a little bit of dish soap in it, and they'll retain the stick on the decals, but they will still you'll be able to move them around for a little bit before they dry. Then they'll just stick on just fine. I didn't really end up needing to use these. My one tip for like when you do if you do end up building this rocket is on these guys. You can just draw like slight little lines at the back so you know how to line up all of these like bands right here. You can see they're not on perfect, but like it's like mostly symmetrical across the board. Again, here we got the nose cone. We got the shock cord. This is another thing I wanted to say. Really nice shock cord. You can just barely see it in here, but it's a Kevlar shock cord on the inside. Then a nylon one out here, which I think will protect it from like zippering, which is pretty nice. They're both very like good materials for shock cords. Here we got the parachute. It's a nylon parachute, 16 inches, which I think is like the perfect size for a rocket of this size. You don't really want them too big. I mean, I think even like an 18 could have worked for a rocket this big, but I'm not going to complain about a 16 because this is really nice. And it's nylon, which like I love the nylon parachutes. They're way better than like the little plastic ones that like are sometimes used in kits. But yeah, I mean, oh, and one more thing, one more interesting part to the construction I wanted to note was with the fins. Oh, two more things. Firstly, right, you'll notice that I like used I think I talked about it in the voiceover. I will talk about it in the voiceover. But I used like a little bit of like sanding sealer on the fins and these balsa nose cones, and that came out really nice. Made it a lot smoother. So that's a good thing. But the second thing I wanted to talk about was, which I also probably mentioned in the voiceover, but I want to go over again, is for attaching the fins and the booster pods here. Which, by the way, these booster pods don't actually like function. Like you don't actually put in a motor in them. I guess you'd probably modify them to hold a motor, but not in like yeah, you probably wouldn't have these like little whatever they're called engine bells on them. But anyways, they have you like pretty much glue it on, put it on there, and then remove it and let that partially dry, and put that back on, and that just makes the gluing process easier. Which I did notice it really did. But it should hypothetically give it a tighter bond, stronger bond. So that's a pretty cool little thing that I think I'll keep on using when I'm making the kit, making more rockets, because usually like for like surface mounted rocket fins and stuff, like you put it on, you have to like it's like a balancing act trying to like keep it drying, standing up. But I mean, yeah, look at how cool this rocket looks. It's just like really awesome. These are really cool decals. It just like looks so awesome. I can't wait to launch it. I'm gonna get I think some Aerotech or Enerjet motors for it. Yeah, this is a mid-power rocket. It launches on uh, mid-power motors. Like the it comes with a 24 millimeter engine adapter, and it has a 29 millimeter engine mount. So a lot of options, a wide variety of options. This rocket kit is produced by Enerjet, which is like the mid-power subsidiary of like Aerotech. Like Aerotech, their high power is like Aerotech, and like their like lower mid power is Enerjet. I think, from what I could tell, I guess their upper high power or upper mid power is still Aerotech. So I have the Aerotech initiator, and then there's also Quest, which is also owned by Aerotech. But yeah, all in all, dude, this is like a really cool kit. I mean, just look at the thing; it's just so awesome. Can't get over it. This is probably one of my coolest looking rockets. So yeah, I can't wait to launch. Guys, thank you for watching. Hopefully this inspired you to get this rocket. I actually don't know where you can get it. You can probably find it online. But I mean, yeah. Guys, thank you for watching and stay tuned for more. And like and subscribe, please.